time is it and what time is it? Let me tell you now, it is the DW World Equity Times. From now onwards, every Monday, 9 a.m., 10 minutes is all you need to spend with us. And on every Monday morning, we're going to pick a powerful stock, and it may come from Singapore markets, Malaysia markets, Hong Kong markets, China markets, US or UK markets. And we call this the OTOP 1910. One target, one purpose, Monday, 9 a.m. and 10 minutes. Be forewarned, we are not recommending any stocks, but it could be a very powerful stocks or very potential commodity counter for that particular week. So stay tuned, and what you're going to do next is every Monday, 9 a.m., just log on and watch us. Stay tuned and be our fan. I'll be right back. Hi everyone, tomorrow is the first day of Lunar Chinese New Year, and we are just one day to go before this auspicious day, and yet we are still diligently doing our recording for this OTOP 78, and this is for the week 31st January year 2022, and that's also the last day in January month. Alright, so 10 minutes is all the time you need to spend with us as usual. Alright, 10 minutes, and stay tuned with us. Like us and subscribe before we're going to kick off this OTOP 78 just for you. Right, let's take a look on Friday again and recap on last week on what we covered before we actually get into what is going to happen for this week. Alright, last week, as we mentioned in OTOP 77, alright, we had the FOMC. Alright, and the Federal Reserve Chair Powell mentioned the rate hike could come as fast as in March. And last week there was a big swing in the Dow Jones and the equity markets, right, in the US. And well, personally, later I'm going to show you some charts, and we think that the downswing and the volatility is still high, but probably has come to an end for the time being, and recovery should be expected in the month of February, and that's why we are here doing for you OTOP 78. Alright, and on last Friday, if you take a look at here, alright, these news big swings in the market are more normal than investors might expect, which means yes, in February we are going to see more market swings and volatility. Alright, on Friday, Dow Jones gained 564 points, as you can see here. Alright, closing at the price of 34,725, and S&P 500 rose 105 points, all making the recovery, and Nasdaq actually climbed 470 points, closing at 17,770. Alright, and on last week we were talking about going into long for a Euro currency ETF, and that's for FXE, that's a symbol, and unfortunately the market comes down. Alright, comes down like this, but well, this is a little bit unexpected, and the reason why Euro was down, that's because the US dollar strengthened a little bit based on the rate hike and also the commands given by the Fed Chairman Powell. So let's take a look at the dollar index, alright, because dollar index moves exactly opposite to FXE, remember that. Alright, so the US dollar index on last week traded, yes, it went up higher, alright, unexpectedly. At first it was here and we were expecting a down move, but it broke up and closed at 97. But the fact is that how likely is dollar index going to go up to 99, 98, 99 or 100, and we really don't think the chances are very high. Alright, although there's a breakup here, it could be a false break, as long, remember here, as long as the US dollar index, alright, could not stay more than 4 days, and this is the second day, the first day, okay, above this level of 96.91, which is about 97. Alright, as long as the market couldn't stay above 97 level for more than 4 days and starts to come down this week, we are still looking at dollar to be forming a double top and going down, and then Euro could still be a good bet. So for those who are actually picking along in FXE, alright, as we mentioned last week, it's not going to be a near term, but sitting on anywhere for the next 3 months, we are still confident that it's a good bet. Alright, a good bet. So take a look at the Dow Jones here. Alright, we're going to show it on the day chart. Yes, I think the market has begun to form a recovery, and the month of February and March, it could be moving back up anywhere to 35,600 or even 36,000, but slowly, alright, slowly. And on the downside, we have seen this strong support that has been tested, alright, around 34,000, which was also tested again last week, and definitely this is going to be a strong support. Alright, this week, OTOP 78, we're going to show you one heavy component counter in the Nasdaq, which is no surprise to you guys, and we have also mentioned of this counter before, but nevertheless, well, we want to go through again and let you see the potential of it. And first of all, let us take a look at Nasdaq. Alright, Nasdaq here, if we can see, alright, strong support here from 13,250 to 13,500, alright, which was the crossing out of the EMA 4 and 20 in the year 2021 May. Alright, so, well, Nasdaq, we always mention, and we want to recap again to make you remember, the heaviest 6 component stock is Fangum, which is the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and G stands for Google, alright, Tesla, and Microsoft. Of course, Facebook now is known as Metaverse. So on this Nasdaq, going to recover, alright, probably in February and March. We are looking at a potential market price going back up to at least 14,500 benchmark. So Nasdaq is going to be a good bet. And in this OTOP 78, exactly now, alright, now we want you to take a look at these very potential stocks, which in the next 1 or 2 months, you could be making some profit out of it. And this is exactly what we're going to cover today in OTOP 78. And here it comes. Take a look. Very, very interesting. And this is Netflix. Alright, take a look at Netflix. Well, before we go on to talk about Netflix, I want you guys to take a look at this very interesting figure. Alright, and on the 20th of January, which is about just 10 days ago, and there was a release of the Q4 earnings report, Q4 of 2021. Alright, and the earnings was definitely better. Alright, if you look at this, the forecast of earning per share is only 82 cents, but the actual earnings per share was $1.33. So the earnings per share was much higher than the forecast. Alright, and it looks good here, but the market prices came off, and precisely because the number of subscribers in Q4 season did not beat the forecast and did not do as well, but the earnings and revenue actually was better. So based on this, there was a punch down in the prices. Alright, as you see here, there was a gap down. Alright, if you look at this recent high around year end last year, the high went up to $700 US. Alright, and now we are almost at 50% at 350, but in fact market closed at $384 US on last Friday. So this very big gap here is going to be covered probably in February or March, which is why we are recommending this Netflix to pick a bottom. Alright, and you could be making some very good recovery profits probably in 1 month's time. Anyway, 4 to 6 weeks, we could be seeing $500 again, and we are now at 384. Alright, and the momentum has been a little bit oversold here. And let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Alright, 4-hour chart has not turned up yet, but anytime when we are looking at the prices climbing up above 425 US dollars per share, I think then the market could be ready to make a recovery. Alright, so if you look at this, well, I think Netflix basically is a good business, good company, very little debt or no debt, and it has been climbing up consistently and steadily over the last 1 to 2 years. Okay, as you look here, especially since year 2020 after the COVID erupted. So this down move was a little bit unexpected, alright, in January, and also because of the subscriber number has been below the forecast, as I mentioned earlier, but the revenue definitely is good. So OTOP 78, Netflix, take a look at it. All right, do some research if you want to find out more about it and be convinced. All right, so anywhere in these prices of 380, I think is definitely a good buy. But then again, do not try to hope to sit on these shares under $700 because we are not looking at that high. But anywhere in this 1 or 2 months, as I mentioned, 4 to 6 weeks or even 8 weeks, I think anywhere near the $500 is definitely in view on this counter. Netflix. Alright, so DW World Equity Time, thank you for staying with us and welcome back every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Singapore time, and we are right here waiting for you. Come in next week and we're going to share with you some more potential stocks. Stay tuned.